Okay, so let's start. Today, I am going to discuss about App Engine, and this is also managed service by the Google Cloud. And let's talk what is the Google App Engine. So Google App Engine is a fully managed platform as a services pass offered by the Google Clouds for the developer that are interested to the build and deploy maybe and this scalable web applications are the mobile backend applications. So these where you can just develop your applications, whatever the source code we have, just develop your application. Now just simply way you can say, hey, I want to deploy and test my applications on the Google Cloud. So just little bit command like G Cloud app deploy. This is the command. Just tell, hey, now my whatever the source code repository folder, everything's they are going to deploy on this Google Cloud environment. Now developer have a no any kind of concerns they are going to the create virtual machine, they are going to the install the particular Java runtime environment, particular library, whatever the scenario, whatever the database or infrastructure you required, you just tell. Even what kind of a server you required, maybe for running your web applications, you required some web server, you can just tell, hey, Google Cloud, the application I am developing in this particular programming language, okay, this particular programming language. So Google know it for this runtime environment, or this is the library or JDK or a particular compiler required, they can uh, just provide for you. You can just deploy your code directly without concerning about the any other uh, uh, you can say resources or infrastructures. If you talk these are the some basic concept in the APJ engine, app engine. First about the applications, whatever the you are going to the build your applications, that consist of the collections of services. Might be you are building one applications, and one application have a multiple modules, maybe multiple services you are build that can serve particular user customer a request. So and that can be each service have a different versions. Maybe you are some applications, some versions, your main high traffic going on, maybe the new updated version you want to deploy. So another instance where the new versions are applied, and some calls again route to your main old application, and some requests also forwarded to the your new application as well as. Okay, so you can say applications is just a collection of services, and services can deploy the multiple versions, and these applications must are deployed internally or particular instances. Okay, so these are the key concept in the app engine about the services, about the versions, about the instances. Okay, so you can say the way you organize related code or functionality. Generally in a module, a related use case, you have different services in an application, and once your application deployed. Okay, so the version is a snapshot of your application code and configure at a particular point in times. Let's you have a developer service, and a particular instance this service is developed and now you have deployed. It's running. Okay, so this is running as an independent snapshot of your application code. That's always running on the same. If you want to change your application, some bug fixes or something, so what app engine say, they can deploy it, make another instance of your code and deploy to the new version of your same applications, right? Instance is the running copy of your applications. So whatever the versions were running, they finally known as a actual running of your application on an instance. Okay, So these are the services, versions, and instances. Instances just the running copy of your applications which are automatically scaled by the app engine. These are the very high level architecture. Generally, in the one Google Cloud project, you can create one applications. And while you're creating applications, you have to specify the which regions you are going to create these applications. Okay, once you application created, in this application you can multiple services, services 1, services 2, services 3, any number of services you can deploy. So whenever you are deploying services, by default they are going to the create a versions, maybe first deployment version 1, second version 2 version. So one services, the number of you going to make deployment, the different versions they are going to create it. And in the Google App Engine, each versions of your services are deployed on the independent instances. So you can say actually your application version, specific versions are running in instances. And the same applications, multiple versions can run simultaneously. So maybe some traffic can going to the your older version, some traffic can be going to the your newer version, or you want to know 100% traffic going to the newer version. So whenever you are deploying any service, by default behavior of Google Clouds, they are routed all your user traffic to the latest version, whatever the latest deployment of the service. But you want no, I have a one versions. I deployed another version, so I don't want all the requests can go to our new latest version. Instead, I want to maybe just 10% or 20% testings. My changes is as applicables or any kind of a pre release. You can just perform some level of testing on the some set of users, a percentage of user traffics. You can also app engine provide the facility of your traffic distributions on the different versions of your applications, right? So these are the high level, you can say, architectures or components in the app engines installed. Be carefully in one project. In the GCP project, you can create one application, and in this application multiple services you can deploy. Each services are deployed as a version services, and each versions of your services can run under independent instances. So these some of the key feature about can say app engine. This is the auto scaling. Okay, so app engine automatically scale the instances based on the traffic and the resource usage. So if app engine automatically monitoring this, hey, your application receiving the high volume of user traffics, they are going to add more server skill, or they can identify your resources, CPU, memory are going to highly utilize, they are also going to add more servers. So that means you don't bother how scalability of my application. So your application scalability point parts is taken care by App Engine, and this scalability surely meet by the load balancer, because if your App Engines scale your application on the multiple server, multiple instances, surely need a load balancer to distribute your user traffic to the different servers, different instances of your applications. And even this is the managed services. So app engines provide the managed services like some services like sending email, handling HTTP requests, and sort the data. So these auto scaling, load balancing, and due to the managed services, they provide the built-in feature with your application. Okay, and even the security also, and key parameters. So app engine provide the secure environment for your application that built-in support of TLS, SSL, authentication authorization parameter of your applications. And surely for managing the proper your user base, which percentage of user are going to which instances, the traffic splitting. So allow developer to route the traffic to the different versions of their applications, about the maybe alpha testing, beta testing, or you can say canary deployment. Canary deployment, that means if one application is by running a particular version, that 1.0.0 application is running, and all the user traffics are going to the version 1.1. Let's say you are added some more features, and version 2.0.0 you can deploy it. So here, just for the testing purpose, you don't want all our user traffics can directed to the latest versions of my application. You say, hey, only 20% of the traffic can route to the our latest version, and rest 80% is still going to the older version. This is the canary deployments, you can say. So if you after 10% you check your application is properly responding, then you can say, hey, let's now all the around 100% traffic's now diverted to the my latest version. So now developer have a full controls where they can decide where our traffic, which instances our traffic can go. So whenever you are going to deploy app engines, so we have to consider app engine provides kind of a two kind of environment. One is very flexible environment, one is very standard environment. Okay, so you have to be carefully aware, because these two environments they provide some control. So in the case of a standard environment, everything almost controlled by the app engine or Google Cloud itself. Flexible environment are the scenario where you want to customize your deployment, maybe specific machine, a specific configuration, means that's give you the control to customer. Hey customer, you can deploy the custom kind of environment. But standard app engines, they are well by default, everything scalability, security, traffic distribution, load balancing, everything is taken care by your app engine itself. Okay. So if you talk the whenever you are going to the develop building applications, you have to think app engine which kind of a programming language support. So if you talk about the flexible environment and the custom environment, okay, or you can say flexible or custom. So in flexible, uh, you can say even whatever the by default pre language supported by the app engine, like you can write your application Python, Java, Node.js, Go, Ruby, PHP. These are the by default standard mode they can support. But if you go to the customer flexible, you want to know our application is going to some other as well as. So in the custom, you can say, hey, I want to run any different programming language, but that serve the HTTP request. Okay, so a variety of languages options app engine offer. So these environments, so when we choose the standard environment or when we choose the flexible environment. Okay, so if you generally standard environments applications is run on an independent sandbox, you can say this is a one particular sandbox. Whatever the runtime environment you select according to one sandbox created, and your application uh, is deployed or run isolated managers, independent one, a specific box created. Whatever the programming language you select according to the language, Google Cloud provide one sandbox, and applications that need to, you can say, very rapidly deployment here. And the standard environments also is for like intent for the run free or at very low cost. The standard decide so that your application can run and at a very low cost, and even suddenly some traffic spike, still they can immediately manage your scaling. But sometimes you want our applications are more control than application instance run with a Docker container. So you can just develop your application in any language. The only things, just make one Docker container. Okay, and using the Docker containers, your application going to run on the compute engine virtual machines. So here like applications receive the consistent traffic, or you can say maybe regular traffic, or meet any kind of more parameter than you can choose. Okay, so overall the flexible environments where you can run your application under the Docker container, and you can choose any programming language which you want, even the native code or whatever, but this is going to run on containerized application on the virtual machine VM. Okay, so these are some more you can say uh, differences are the situation, standard environment and flexible environment. You can say, notice here the instance startup time, because this is standard, they are start within a second, because it will take a minute. They have a Docker image, the image download and again startup application depend upon your configuration, so might be take a minute. You can say similarly your request timeout, this is the flexible in a 60 minute. And background thread, background process, SSS, scaling by default standard support three kind of scaling. One is a manual scaling, basic scaling and automatic scaling. But here you notice you only can in the flexible environment you have only two options. One is a manual, one is the automatic. There is a no basic, right now. This, at least here we have to required one basic, that means can be scaled to the zero. Maybe there is no request, there is no instance required, but here at least your Docker instances must run if you want to manually or automatically. Okay, and here the major uh, point is that whenever you are choosing as a standard environment, that can scale to the zero. That scale can to the zero due to the they support the basic scaling. But here in the case of flexible environment, at you cannot say scale to zero. At least minimum one instances must be required. Due to that, these are the pricing or cost also optimizations where. And here lots of other parameter, maybe deployment, what times take, it will take near about the second, it will take near about the minutes. And similarly all other they support the WebSocket, this is support, yes, this is not supported. And the pricing is based on instances, the hour. Here a pricing on the basis of your CPU memory persistent disk. So in the flexible environment, you have to select the number of CPU or memory. So you can say, or whatever the persistent disk you attach with this your VM. So the pricing will be calculated on the basis of this parameter. But in the case of a standard, by default, everything provided by the Google Cloud. So pricing just based on the instance hour, number of instances your application running, what number of hours this instances use your application. So these are the some basic you can say parameter you have to select. So let's look one the demo parts. What the demo I am going to do, so for running one building one application, so surely I'm not going to build any applications to deploy it on the app engine. Instead, already one Google GCP provided one simple repository where the Java code republic. Just I go git clone, or you can git clone your repository, and after that just go to the your main application which you want to deploy, and just we have to run only one command. This is the git cloud app deployments. Now your source code is deployed on the environment. So this is the only one command from the cloud SDK, Google Cloud SDK. You can go and run G cloud app deployment, and this command is going to deploy your application. Okay, so let's look it. So this is the our environment, and here we have to. So one thing always remember whenever you are, let's go and search here app engines. Hmm. If not, just search here app engine, app engine. So now your app engine. So whenever you're going to so notice one things whenever you are going to use any cloud services, the general preferences is that you have to enable those API, because these are the all are the API provided by the cloud. So first, until you have not enable, you can not create any you can say app engines. So app engines, two options. You can manually go and create from the command lines, or from enable from the any API or any service API you can enable from the command line as well as from the console. So command lines, that means the cloud SDK. Cloud SDK, you can by default in the cloud console, there are here is option, you can just click here and they are launch one cloud console, and from here you can just check out the code and run gcloud app deployment. Okay, so from command line you can do itself, or you can do. So let's you can just, this is the by default configurations you can uh, do here. Okay, so let us just these are the what are just basic things. Generally, there is no any specific configuration. You have to just for app engine, you have to just tell, hey, the particular region. Uh, App engine prerequisite: first, you required one project. In one project, a Google project, like this is my one project. This project required at least only one project, only one application. In this application, you can specify the which region the application going to run, and then is deploy your services. Deploy your services, any number of services. So for deploying services, simple gcloud app instance. So let's uh, do app, app engine API. Okay. So app engine admin API, just go enable. So now your API is enabled, and now go to the dashboard and here search app engine. App engine. Okay, refresh it. Somehow might we have not permissions, maybe in this particular project we have not a permission to allow. So just let's another approach. So I have already one link available for the practice lab which GCP offer. Okay, and just copy this links and can just open the lab. So the Google Cloud, we have also options. They provide the lots of labs. You can go and just start the lab and do the practice. So just for I'm going to simple start one labs. This is the username and password created for me. Just copy here, just open, continue. apply the password, understand. I stay here, terms and condition, agree, and it's done. So here, if you now this lab, you can search app engine, app engine, and now you can here you can create your applications. So by default, just go create applications, and you have to select, hey, which regions you want to, any regions, which regions you belong, you can just select those region. Okay, and by default, whatever the region you want, just select the regions, which region you want, and once you done, then just click next. And if you even finally go to the labs, they detail out everything's, what the language they support, what opinion doings, and this is a simple code where I'm talking. So good options, just go to the your cloud console, and we did this. You go to the cloud console and run this command. Just go to the, okay, and here just you select the language, and this is the also mention the command, hey, this is the gcloud unit initialize and gcloud app deployments. So these are the commands you have to specify. So first your initialize are by default gcloud init, and here you can decide your resources here, your language, and here environment. We discussed like two environment, uh, standard and flexible. So these are the environment available. Flexibles are standard. Here is the language available that support Python, Node, Java, and Go. Other language, whatever the language support, they support by the way Python, Node.js, Java, Go, PHP. So let's select the Java language, and environment would be flexible or the standard. Let's go with the standard, and just let's do. So in just simple way we can do, and go to the command lines. So let's launch here, continue. Cloud console, just whenever clicking, by default Google Cloud provide one VMs where you can run all the command. So this is the mention here. You can just click, just verify your command is properly gcloud auth list. They can just authorize your cloud console with this. Got it. Now your authorization done, and just after that you can just go and just finally just go to the check out this repository. If you notice pwd, uh, this is the current working directory, and this is the our folder. Okay, there you know, just git clone and check out your repository. So here, whatever the repository you have, just check out your repository and just go to the your folders and run the command to deploy. Okay? So your notice our repository are deployed. Sorry, this is a repository are checkout, and just say, hey, now you are go and just go to the particular folder, go to the particular folder, and once you are in the folder, you can just go in the folder. Already this source code is given. This is the one main methods where http server 2 api 1/api 1/foo api 2 api are developed here. So we're not going to more detail, but yeah, whatever the applications you have, whatever application you have, finally just you go run G Cloud app deployment. G. So go here and just clear and G Cloud alert. This is the command. Now this command, no, this is your source code. From source code you are going to deploy. They want to this, yes. Okay, and now they are going to what they say. Hmm. So please use the latest version of. Okay, so what we did here, the language, continue. I select the Java language standard. So here say why select Java runtime environment. What this say, you have to type yes. Let's again type it. Should we work? Java runtime. Okay. Maybe we have to install the Java. That is yes. Gcloud runtime Java 11 is out of support, no longer valid. Please use the latest. Okay. Java hyphen hyphen version 17. Okay. K K ls minus LRT. So this is the form. Just say uh, uh, SCB Java 1. So, yes. Java 11, Java 21, Java 8. It's our latest version. Java 1. Let's run. ls. Now here everything great helper. So now palm. Let's now here you can say app deploy. What is happening? Maybe not supported deployment. What is happening? What is happening? So let's stop them and again start them. It should works. Okay. Let's start the lab again. So this is password. Launch here again. Password. I'll understand. stay this profile, agree. Let's go to the lab. What lab say? Just go click here. Everything deployment done. Just let's go. The project ID set already. Then just go here. Allow. But if your application have a properly in the JDK set, because I am just git cloning the existing repository, that may be older repository due to that, but this command is surely deployed your applications. Okay, now it's done, activated this command. Let's test. It's working. Then you can say download app server, this, just go activate, just say this. Just say this. And as per this document, they are referring the same project. Why they are Google's not updated this document? I think they must be update this document. And then this is done. You have not changed anything, just source look like here. And after that, just you run this command. Okay. Source associated US Central and then press Y. Let's just click here. Somehow system is so low. They have to give options. Now it's given options. Now you can say you can select choice the which regions you are, maybe here this app engine say you have to go select US Central. Last time also we select US Central too. Okay, two. So you are just in this now. Your project is going to create a particular regions. So App Engine in one application must specify the particular region. This region you cannot change. If you want to your application serve in a different region, the good option you can create the new project. Just say why, and now they are going to the deploy. Somehow, let open the editor narrator. Somehow they mention the environment, maybe applications. POM, just change the POM file. So you can just where is open folder? Okay. Hmm. This is the project. this side this simple code, and here you say Java 11, and your folder project this under which directory. So let's in the console itself just check cat form.xml. What the dependency they mention? They mention Java 11. So somehow we have to change Java 70. Here is the Java version 17, right? So let's change the we go and let's try to change. Just change 70. Oh, it is not change. Seventeen. Just check again. 17. And now deploy application. So somehow yes. Please use the latest Java runtime environment app engine standard work. So somehow there is a different configuration why they are not picking. So plugins will options. Okay. So most probably it will surely work. So whenever you are properly set here, so whatever the maybe I'm checkout project that's are not up to date due to that. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's try. Okay, so these are the overall you can understand. That's just so we you can set up the proper environment, and maybe if you are check out your project would be right because I am using the some maybe that cd app engine Java 11 11 services. That was 17. Let's try. They have a not data source. They have a POM. Okay, so somehow the number is not there. Okay, so maybe I'll look why this project is not properly, but by default always it should maybe due to the this Google itself, we have to change this repository repo something. So if you check out your repo and your repo have a proper environment set, it will surely run. Okay. So this is, and if you want to get more detail about this app engines, whatever the content we have, and just go visit the official documentation of app engine, and they are uh, everything whatever we discuss from this the official document. Okay. So hope this information give a little bit about the app engine. And app engine, you can deploy your application and all the non-functional requirement like scalability, highly availability, fault tolerance. This is taken care by your Google Cloud itself. Hope this information is helpful for you. Thank you.